Let's go live to Montreal, where Andrea Newman is on the Board of Regents at the University of Michigan and works with Delta Airlines and has taken the time to ring in. Bonjour, madame.
Bonjour, monsieur.
How's your French?
It's getting better.
Well, by necessity.
All those years of French in Detroit public, in Birmingham public schools are finally paying off.
Yeah, well, that's good to know. It's a lovely place to be, I'm sure, this morning, though your heart is in Michigan, and it was never more evident to me than when I bumped into you. I made my first trip to the Big House, Michigan Stadium, for the game.
110,000 people.
Largest.
You and I bumped into each other unexpected.
Isn't that something? I mean,
yeah, but that's Michigan. That's the stadium. That's your Michigan moment.
It's a small world for sure, but it's a big stadium, and the new facilities there. I had a chance to because you gave me a little tour, and it was a big tour. I mean, the view is unbelievable from up there, and obviously the University of Michigan. You're on the Board of Regents there, spared no expense.
Well, we did spare expense. Actually, we did it for we did what we thought we had to do. I don't think we went overboard, but we had the luxury and the opportunity to visit a number of other stadiums that had been done before us. So this, on one of those occasions, this is one of those times when it probably paid not to be first. Mm-hmm. And we were toward the end of the universities doing stadiums, so we got to pick the best of all worlds, and we got to do it for the most efficient pricing.
What sort of feedback are you getting from people who visit?
Everything is positive. People love it. They how beautifully it was done. How not how much it was needed, because people were happy with what we had before, mm-hmm. but they like it. It's a cool way to sit in different areas of the stadium. You've got more room in the benches now. You've got handicap accessibility. You've got poles in the aisles, and yet you've still got more seats and more enjoyment, and you can still see from every seat in the stadium.
One of the things that I loved most about the visit was there was a video just before the game. And this is relatively new to me. I haven't seen this before at Michigan Stadium. But they had a video with the voice of Bo Schembechler. Mm-hmm. And it gave me chills to hear his
fabulous
voice. And he says, we're not going to criticize each other. We're not going to talk about each other. We're going to encourage each other. And then they have the players repeating that mantra over and over. And I thought, what a great, even for the Wolverine football team, but even in the workplace, if you can adopt that.
They seem to be doing at the beginning of every game something very uplifting. At least I've seen it now at the beginning of every game this year. And I think I don't know if it's tradition. I don't know if that's the point, but I've seen it at the beginning of every game, and it certainly is. It certainly does bring chills. And it was also this week, was the celebration, and I know you saw him later in the evening, of Frank Beckman's 30th year on the air.
Oh, my God. He's showing his age, too, isn't he?
Hmm?
I said he's showing his age, too, isn't he? Just kidding.
No, not Frank.
No, he was all wheels. Yeah, I saw him at the radio reunion later that night, and then we had a chance to talk and hang out. And he was texting me after midnight, so he's an automaton. He's going and going and going. And you were nice enough to take me into his broadcast booth, which has to be a huge improvement in terms of size anyway. They were spread out there. Brandstatter and their spotters, and Tony Butler was up there above working the equipment. And that broadcast booth is named after you, isn't it?
It is. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
When you donate money to the university and you don't donate quite enough to have something that people notice donated after you, you get a list of would you like to name something, and one of the things on the list that I was given to name was the home radio booth, and I thought, for posterity, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely neat, and Frank said he loves having you pop in and out of there during the game too, and so it was really an awful lot of fun. And what are you doing in Canada?
Your other favorite subject, Michael. Michael, I am here for the International Air Transport Association meeting, where airlines from all over the world get together and discuss things that are impacting our industry. And that meeting starts this morning at 9. So I flew up on my nonstop flight out of Detroit yesterday, which was very nice. Spent the night here, and we'll go to the meetings all day today and fly back this evening.
We still have a good, reasonable number of nonstops from Detroit, even with Delta now, don't we?
We have more nonstops with Delta,
kidding.
and we have more international service with Delta. Detroit has actually grown since the merger.
Well, that's terrific. I always remember Northwest nonstops and how lucky we were to be able to fly.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned to you briefly yesterday, and we should talk about it when it happens, but later in October, we're going to be opening up our first route to South America out of Detroit, going to Brazil.
Outstanding. Rio, here we
Which
come.
I think will be terrific.
Yeah, well, just in time for the Olympics and all the other growth that's going on.
Just in time for the Olympics, and the auto companies have been asking for routes to Brazil for years.
Well, I always dreamed of going down there to Rio and maybe for Carnival, and now it'll be easier than ever. You just hop on a plane in Detroit, and what is that, about an 8-hour flight probably?
8 or 9 hour flight, but we'd love you to go as our guest and check it out and tell all your listeners about it.
Delta, here we come now. You are running for re-election on the University of Michigan Board of Regents.
I am.
Why should people push that button, pull that lever, fill in that box for you?
Oh, I think that my years of experience, my understanding of the institution, not only my love of the institution, gives me something special. I would hope that people would consider experience in making their decisions. My interest is in, obviously, keeping the institution affordable. I'm not a rubber stamp on tuition. I don't do it most of the time. I think there has to be a reason to raise tuition. Obviously, the state appropriation's gone down dramatically in the years I've been on the board. On the other hand, there's plenty of things we can do to make up that money.
Well, you bleed blue through and through. And
I do.
On your Facebook page, it's evident, and we sure appreciate it. Travel safely. Have fun in Montreal. Get back here as fast as you can, and we'll talk again soon.
Will I see you at another game this year?
You might very well do that.
Well, please let me know.
I'm inclined to come back because you know why, too? In addition to these luxury suites and boxes, the concourse moves so much nicer now. And
right.
the people, I mean, 4 times on our way into the game, from the gate to the security attendant to the elevator operator, welcome to Michigan Stadium, and they were all in a great mood. It's for a team that's known as the foreboding Big Blue, you really got a friendly welcome there.
Well, I think that shows the excitement that's going on around there. I think there was also some training that helps with that.
Yeah.
But it's meant to be a welcoming experience. We want you to have a good time. It's amazing how many people we can get into that small space and get out, and everybody's happy and not have any difficulty with it. And we'd love to have you come back. Let me know.
That is astonishing how you move people in and out of town like that and in and out of the stadium. And now the Big Ten season starts this weekend, so button up your chin straps and remember what Bo said. We're not going to talk about each other. We're not going to criticize each other. We're going to encourage each other. And if you can take that into the workplace today, maybe you'll have a better week. Travel safely. Thank you very much aboard Delta, and we'll talk to you soon. Andrea Fisher Newman, University of Michigan Board of Regents, running for re-election.